Hey there everyone, Paler here, and welcome back to Black Desert Online. This is the tutorial series where I'm going to be going over the basics up through maybe some of the advanced stuff later on, but for now, we're just covering the basics. Today, we're going to begin what is probably going to be a 2 or 3 part little section within this, where we talk about the contribution points, the worker, and crafting system within the game. Today, mainly we're going to focus on now that we know how to collect contribution points from the previous video, we're going to talk about how you spend them in order to set up basically resource collection and get resource collection going on. Don't you be barking at me, dog. Come on, Dober, knock it off. Now, the contribution points here, you'll see we have 8 of 25. We're going to begin by opening up our map. And first thing I want to do, and this is something that I found helpful once I got rid of it, is initially the map has a lot of noise. And all these videos, like I've gone through a bunch of tutorials, they talk about the lines connected here, the lines connected there, and all that. And it's like, you're looking at this, there's a lot of icons. Turn it off. Turn it off. Let's get rid of everything but the initial node system. Okay, so we have just the nodes showing these icons out here. These are all the different places where if we wanted to, we could invest contribution points. They all have different uses. Some of them are simply just paths, which I think, nope, that's the imp cave, that's not a path. Some of them might just be paths, but most of them have some type of resource that can be worked or gathered. Now, before we go and dive into the individual node systems, though, we want a central hub. Now, the central hub could be literally any major town. That is either Velia, Olivia, Heidel, and then there's like a dozen more out here somewhere on the map. For my purposes, and what I would recommend doing your first time out, you're going to start off up here in Olivia, and for the first like 3 hours of the game, you're going to make your way down here to the West Guard camp, and then up here to Velia. By the time you get to Velia, you should have somewhere between like 6 and 12 contribution points. Use them once you get here to Velia. It's a good place to start off with. You could use them back over here, but you're not going to spend a huge amount of time over here in Olivia, whereas you're going to be here in Velia quite a bit. And even after you leave Velia, you're just down here in Heidel for the most part, and that back and forth isn't too bad. So this is a good starting point to learn things. Another key thing to learn is, just keep this in mind. If you come here to Velia and you spend your contribution points, you can always get them back. They're never gone. You're not actually spending them. You're investing them, but you can always get them back from where you've invested them. So they're never lost to you. So if you start off the game here in Velia and then end up way out over here, these aren't useless. You can come back, pick them all up, bring them back over here, and invest them back where you want to be later on down the road. Okay, to start off with, we're going to start here with Velia. We're going to come in here, and once you've actually gotten into the town, this bluish green teal icon should show up here, and we can click in on here, and we're going to have a whole bunch of different options. And initially, this is a little confusing. So these white houses that you see here are houses that I already own. Blue ones are ones that are currently available, and gray ones are ones that are open, but not available because there's some type of prerequisite not met yet. For example, if we zoom in here on this house right here, number 2-2 of Velia, it's real hard to see because it's bright, but there's a line coming from him to him. So this is number 2-1, 2-2, 2-3. So in order to acquire this one, I need to first purchase that one. And it'll tell us, we come in here, check purchase conditions. Purchase condition for 2-2 means I must own 2-1 first, and that's going to cost 1 contribution point. The reason we're looking at this is when we first set up our workers, we have to have some place for them to work, store, and rest. You can, at the very beginning, you have enough room for 1 worker. You don't have to buy any house. You get 1 worker free that just sleeps under a tree somewhere. He doesn't need somewhere to live. But any workers beyond that first one need a place to begin with. So when I first got here, the first thing I did was I purchased this, room 1, number 1 in Velia. I purchased this as my own personal residence. This is, you can see in here, actually this is not what it looks like at all, but I have a cooking station set up, and down the road I plan to put a bed there and all of that. That was the first one I picked up for myself. The second one I picked up was 2-1, and this one is lodging for workers. So initially, level 1, I could hire 1 more worker, so it's now up to 2. I've then upgraded it to hold 2 additional workers. If we go to the third one here, I have already hired it, so it can hire additional 1 worker. So now we're up to a total of 4 workers. And then I could upgrade it if I want to. In fact, I'm going to. In 10 minutes, I could upgrade it to hire an additional worker for the cost of 1,000 silver. No, work cost is 1,000. So total of 4,232 coins is what it's going to cost. That's pretty easy. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to tell it to do that. And it's going to take 10 minutes, but eventually we'll have room for another worker. So this is my house. And then I have locations for workers to stay in. We're going to need this. The second thing I did was over here, I bought a storehouse and I increased the number of storage slots that could be in. So this will be when the workers come back from doing whatever they're doing, mining ore, mining wood, not mining wood, chopping lumber, whatever. They need a place to store it. It doesn't end up in your bag, doesn't end up in your house, doesn't go into their house. It goes to the warehouse. The warehouse is located down here on the docks. This gets a little confusing, but basically, actually, let's go take a look at it. We're just sitting here. Yeah, this video is going to be long. I apologize, but we'll split it up into like 3 spots. Let's jump down here, jump over here. Run faster! Run faster. I should have brought my donkey. Could have used my ass to get down here real quick. Down here on the dock is this antler dude, and this is where he is in Velia. They do tend to be located around the docks, and if we talk to him, we'll see he has a warehouse. Come in here, and this is where my workers, I currently have workers working, I have 3 of them, are dropping things off. So you can see we have a bunch of stone in here from the miners, we have wood in here, and we have potatoes in here. We're going to go ahead and take those out while we're here, and we're going to go ahead and close. When you first come here, though, this is a few spots less. I want to say it's only down to here. I've increased how many spots in here are 5. This is what is going on. If we exit out of here, whoops, come back up here, come back in here, and click this. This is what's happening. So I've increased by 3 and then 5. So I've actually added 8 additional slots. So I've added one whole row to this thing that weren't there before by doing that. So the storehouse, these storehouses here don't actually create their own separate buildings. They just increase that NPC's storage amount. If we would come, let's see, this one here is also, what do I have this one as? Storage, yep. We can't upgrade it, so it's because it's only level 1. It can't be upgraded. There's no additional arrow here, so that was not very helpful. No additional arrow. I'm just looking for some that we can maybe upgrade. So this one in the back here would be good for upgrading for additional storage. So let's go ahead and let's plan on purchasing this. First, it's blue. Since it's blue, we already know it's available. But if, say for instance, I hadn't had this one here, which is storage. Let's you know what? Let's think about this. This one can't be upgraded, but it could be used as a refinery, a mineral bench, or mineral workbench, or a residence. Do we want to keep this as storage when it only gives us 3 additional spots for 1 CP, when we could get 8 additional spots up here for that same 1 CP? Well, let's see here. Let's think about this. We could do refinery or mineral workbench. What can we do here? We can do refinery, wood workbench, carpentry, workshop, residence. So this is the only one that can actually be this mineral workbench. Let's go ahead. Let's get rid of this. So we're going to sell this. We're going to get back our 1 contribution point. Now, you notice it is blue. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to repurchase this to be a mineral workbench, and it's going to cost us that 1 contribution points plus this silver. Yes. Okay, and that's going to take 20 minutes to complete. Now, once this is done, you now notice this is now blue. We can now come in here, and we're going to go ahead and let's purchase this storehouse. Yes, and that's going to take 2 minutes. Once this is done, though, we'll have 3 additional spots when we talk to this guy. I don't think they'll show up yet, no. But you can see we actually lost 2. Ooh, that was bad of me. We lost those items, I think. Oh well, doesn't really matter. They'll get it back here. So, initially, you don't need to spend all your CP doing this, since I already have things set up working. We just spent quite a few. But you want to have enough storage locations that whatever work you have your guys doing, they can drop it off. You also want to have a place for them to live. Okay, so we got that worked out. Now, what do we want to do? Let's back out here to where we can see the nodes, and we have to decide what it is we want to create first or gather first. In order to do this, you need to first discover these locations, and you're going to mostly do this through questing. They'll send you around here. Now we could probably look, like if you see here, this little area here is flashing kind of white when the map pulses. There's probably a location here that we could discover. Let's go ahead, we'll put that on there. We'll cut the video here, and we'll be back once I get back out there, and we'll probably discover a location that is a node that we can invest in. So we'll be back in a sec. Alright, so we're getting close. Now, it looks like what we actually came across is a goblin compound with probably what is a mine down inside. Now I'm looking here. We should find an NPC somewhere in this cave. Yes, mining cave. Now if we look on the map, you'll see it is now a location. Okay, so let's see if we can find. There should be an NPC in here. Is he up above? Well, you know what we can easily do? So we right click on that. That'll show us where to go. All right, now let's follow the line, follow the line, follow the line. Once you've discovered it, this will normally lead you to the NPC that controls it. And it looks like he's up and above and behind us. So let's come this way. Oh, right there's the camp. Yeah, there's a camp outside. And when we get here, there'll be something we can talk to. Yeah. All right, continue. And now we have this option for node management. Once we find it, we can come in here, and this is important. So we could now start to control this node. Now, in order to use this node, though, we'll notice it's not connected. First, we'd have to come back here, and we first need to invest in this. So while this was good, it's a good explanation to show that you need to actually discover these. Right here's probably another farm we could discover. You need to discover them, and then once you're discovered, you have to actually go to them and interact with them in order to use them. So let's go ahead. Let's backtrack to, well, we'll cut here until we're back over here at this farm, and let's see what we have over there. I'd like to find a place that has corn. All right, and now we're back here again. So we have found, let's see here. Which guy is it? Probably this woman here, or that one out there. Probably this woman here. Talk to her, continue, and node management. Good, good, good. Now we can come in here, sleep out, and you'll notice we have connections to both Bertilia Farm, only to Bertilia Farm. Is that what it's called? Bertilia? Yeah, Bertil. No A at the end there. Okay, so you now understand how to discover the nodes and see what the nodes are. There's some icons here. You'll notice this icon here is just kind of like this yield sign with the exclamation. What this means is it is only a resource of some sort. These icons here with the split and the double arrow means they're a pass through, a connection point, but they can also have a resource within them. In fact, that's what that 02 there next to the farm set or far says. So if we click, we'll come in here, we'll see there are two different houses of lodging, but there are also two fields. And if we mouse over it, we'll see this field. If you look above the icon, you'll see Velenos Farthest Gathering Sunrise Herb. So if we put a worker to here, we'll get Sunrise Herb. If we put a worker here, we'll get Ash Timber. Now, I already have a guy collecting ash. Whoops, I meant to escape back over here. So we don't need to do another ash, but I don't know what Sunrise Herb does. Let's look for something that I actually want to invest in. This one is just a house. Nope. Let's see. This is another field. Chicken meat. You know what? We could probably go with some chicken meat. So let's go ahead. We'll set our icon over here. We're going to head over here. Now, in order to do this, we have to actually go there. In order to invest in this node, we can't do this from the map. So we have to run over to the actual lady in charge. So we're going to cut and we'll be back again in a moment. Okay, so I lied a little bit, guys. We skipped this farm here, mainly because I'm already invested in that farm, and I wanted to show doing it from scratch. So instead, I came over here to the Logia farm. Since I don't have anything invested here, it'll be a little more natural as if you're doing it for the first time. So we want to talk to this gentleman here out in front, and we're going to go into the node management system. Now, in the node management system, we have the primary hub with the houses available, and they have one field available that has potatoes. Now, before we can do anything, the first thing we need to do is we have to invest one contribution point. Another thing to note, so this has the double arrows, but there's nothing beyond this. I'm putting this out mainly because this imp cave here will become active. So we come back in here, we're going to invest the contribution point. All right, Logia Farm has now been activated. Now, if we come back out, you'll notice there's a line, a very thin line, coming over here to the imp cave. So we have now logistically connected the imp cave to Velia. if we wanted to, we could go down in there into the Imp Cave and invest the same way and turn it into a mining spot. We're not going to do that now. We're going to stick here with Logia Farm. Okay, so we have the primary hub opened up, but we don't have access to the field yet. So we're going to click on the field icon, and now we can invest an additional contribution point here. And now we have access to the potato farm. So we could now, if we have a worker available, we could send a worker here to collect potatoes. Close back out of there. We could also collect inside here. We could go into this building. We could do a fish workbench, crop workbench, or a residence, or storage, obviously. And this is a double storage, which I'm finding very appealing. Or we have another double storage in the second house, refinery, mineral workbench, or residence. So basically, we can get quite a bit of storage out here as long as we have enough residences somewhere else to work. And since they are connected right here directly to Velia, the workers from Velia will go there and back. You don't need a separate worker with that. For example, if we come down here, this is a coastal cove. This is a little mine where I have a guy mining. He's mining iron ore. There's no house here for him. He's staying and residing here, and he's also transferring his goods there. Okay, so we've got the farm unlocked. We've unlocked the potato field. We can now send a worker out here to go. The last thing we want to consider is energy invest. What you can do, if you have excess energy, and this doesn't hurt to consider, you can invest energy. And as this level kicks up and you go to level 2, 3, 4, you increase the returns and the gains from the farm. How much? I don't know. I can't comment on that yet, but it is something to consider. If you're about to go to bed or something for the night and you're at almost full energy, go ahead and use your energy in one of your nodes to improve that node for later on. I would recommend investing in the city first. You can see here I'm actually level 2 in the city, and it's given me a bit more, I don't know, something, hopefully something good. But that's how you go about initially finding the nodes and unlocking the nodes and having them ready. In the next video, we'll go ahead and we'll cover hiring the workers and getting the workers out here to start working. But this video has been long enough. So until next time, this has been Paler. Thanks for watching.